So it turns out that infidelity is actually not uncommon in both men and women. In fact, surveys estimate that almost 1/4 of all marriages experience infidelity at some point, and that is just counting the people who found out about it. The figure of those who didn't find out about it is unknown. It's very hard for most people to be logical about infidelity. They start raging or get so sad and hurt that they can't look at the situation reasonably. Well, today we want to answer some very important questions. Why do people cheat in their relationship or marriages? Under what condition is cheating permissible? Who are the worst cheats? What are the effects of cheating, whether positive or otherwise? To break this down logically, I have wonderful people joining me to discuss this. They will be sharing their honest and professional views from the perspective of both genders. This is the Talk Shop, and I'm Victor Terhemba. Let the talk begin. Yeah, welcome back. And as you can see, it's a full house here today on Talk Shop. We will be discussing on infidelity in relationship and marriages. Now, this is an interesting topic, and that is the reason why we have a full house and people will be discussing these issues from their own perspective, professional and honest perspective. Now we're going to start with introduction. We're going to start on a personal note. Maybe we'll start with Faith, who will introduce herself by yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Faith Akame, and I am a chemist and a civil servant.
And next to Faith is Mr. Daniel.
Okay, my name is Daniel Ojadwa. I am an IT and security expert. I'm also an author.
Okay, immediate to my left is Amara.
Hi, I'm Amara. I'm a data analyst and a writer.
Oh, wonderful. And okay, yes, I'm bringing back Brian for the second time.
Okay, hi, my name is Brian. I'm a writer and a communications consultant.
Okay. And just next to Brian is Precious Gaza.
Hi, my name is Precious, and I'm an emotional intelligence coach.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, before we go on, let's sound a note of warning that for those who might be feeling personal to attack Brian is also very confrontational when it comes to issues that really bother that. So as we all know today, we are supposed to discuss about infidelity in marriages, and this is very important. Sorry, not marriages, relationship generally. And maybe I'm going to kick off from Daniel on the fact that you are the only person I can confirm here now that is marriage. So the question is, why do people cheat in their relationship or marriages? So maybe as a married man, you might have a perspective.
Okay, thanks. Well, let me issue a disclaimer first of all. I am not going to have a lot of perspective because I am married, but I could say I would have a lot to say about that based on my experiences and my encounters with people. Now, I have a lot of friends, most of them guys, who we interact a lot. And men feel free to talk about things like this when they are with themselves. Vis-a-vis, just like women too, tend to talk about things like this freely when they are with themselves. But basically, I think cheating stems from dissatisfaction. It's innate. It could be about an external factor or something that happens between you and your partner. So nobody just comes out and says, I want to cheat. Though there are people who, even if you give them the perfect scenario, they are still prone to cheat, notwithstanding. But I think a larger percentage of people who, in quote, cheat once in a while, will do that because it stems from some form of dissatisfaction within them. So maybe they are trying to do that to get back at their partner or just break even.
But how would you wanting to get back at your partner be something like, okay, let me just give the floor to Precious to talk now, because he said something about saying the fact that people want to retaliate, get back at their partners for cheating, so they too also go back to go on and cheat as well.
Yeah.
How does it help in actually solving the problem, or in fact
it doesn't solve the problem. It's actually an immature thing to do. I would say that cheating stems from a place, although what he said is correct, but I would say cheating stems from a place of indiscipline. Because in a relationship, you're giving yourself to another person, and you're supposed to, there's self-gratification and then there's intimacy. But then when you cheat, you're you're leaving that place of intimacy to satisfy your wants. It's there with porn, with food, with, so like when you find something attractive and you want to try it out, or you've met someone that is exciting and you spending more time with that person, instead of disciplining yourself and reminding yourself you're in a committed relationship, you satisfy that want and cheat. So I believe, or I would say, it stems from a place of indiscipline, although the place of being not satisfied in the relationship comes into play, but it's mostly indiscipline. Because if you're not satisfied in a relationship, you can communicate with your partner and find out ways to bring in that spark again, but then you don't communicate, you shut your partner out, and then you decide to indulge the other person. Yeah.
Well, the way you're looking is like you have something to say.
Yeah.
I have something.
You do.
I do.
Okay.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, first of all, I think that I wouldn't call it cheating except you're married. Because when people are married, then you going out of, you leaving the I'm looking for the exact phrase to be, you living that
confines.
God bless my brother, the confines. He's married, so he knows the right word. the confines of the vows you took to go and seek or get some satisfaction from another person. That's when I can call it cheating. But if me and somebody we're just dating, all right, and then she said something about being dissatisfied. Okay, if both of us are dating and I'm dissatisfied, maybe she's not the woman God don't say I go marry if you, and I'm dissatisfied, and then I meet another woman who I'm excited about, who gives me that satisfaction, and then I leave her and then end up with this woman. You don't exactly call it cheating. We're probably just checking who will be our final partners, right?
Are you dating right now?
I shouldn't answer that.
Because
okay. Yes, I am.
Yeah, so are you cheating on your partner right now?
No,
Yes,
that is you're putting me on the spot right now.
In this thing that you have painted, do you do that with your current partner?
No, let me. I'm not going to say I do. I don't do it with my current partner, but it doesn't mean that I can't meet new people. And who knows? You understand? Who knows? I can.
I get where you're
Do you okay? I want to ask you a question. If we are dating and I just go out with a female friend, we're not dating yet, and then we just go out to have lunch. Do you consider that cheating? What is cheating? Is it when it's sexual it's just?
No. There's even emotional.
Yeah, it is not always sexual.
Cheating
It's not always
sexual.
sexual.
Cheating is when you transfer all the intimacy, vulnerability to another person that you experience with your partner. It's like you're open with your partner, you talk to the same access that your partner has to you, the same level of intimacy and vulnerability is being transferred to another person.
So
it mustn't be sexual.
That's making it broader now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so on this point, I'm going to hold it, but we are going to come back on that. So let's take a perspective on this cheating from faith. What do you think? Why do you think people cheat in relationship?
Why? Like they all said, it can be because of dissatisfaction. But another thing I want to add is when a person doesn't possess they don't feel the need, or they are pretty much too lazy to address issues, whatever issue they may have with their partners. You could hear of cases where the person will be like, oh, she doesn't listen to me, and then maybe they find someone outside who listens to them, and from there they start cheating on their partner. So there's the dissatisfaction, and there's also the fact that most people do not always address issue, because from a little issue it's always,
Exactly.
if it's not addressed, it will always blow up.
Yes.
Okay, so quickly, have you been in that kind of situation, whether you are the victim or you are the person doing the cheating, whether you are the cheater or the cheatee? Have you found yourself in that position?
No.
Now, the thing is this, there's always this debate about okay, that's what I'm going to pick up with what she said earlier, that cheating will occur when you share some of those intimacy with somebody else outside.
But that happens at some point or the other in the life of every man or woman, whether you're dating or whether you're married.
Exactly.
at some point, but it's the onus lies on you to call yourself to order. Because communication, if I end up telling something that I know I should tell my wife alone, I tell it to some other person, that means I'm trying to establish some level of intimacy with that person.
Yes.
Now, I'm out of line, but it could lead to something, it could escalate to something bigger. I should be able to call myself to order, and so it always starts with communication. You understand? So that's why cheating is not just about sleeping with somebody else who is not your partner and all of that.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
Once you allow that level of communication become very intimate, for instance, if you are friends with a married woman and she just friends, but she tells you intimate things about her relationship with her husband and all of that,
she starts complaining about her husband.
She's actually cheating on the man because she's not supposed to tell you those things. Those things are not your business to know. You understand? It starts from there. It doesn't just start from. You understand?
So sorry, Brian. So let's look at this. Now I want us to really define what exactly is cheating, or at what level, what actions, what conditions will you say that okay, this is actually cheating? Now, because the target here remains, you said when there are some levels of intimacy, right?
Yes.
So now this is my own theory here right now. When it comes to who are the worst between men and women, I always say only just about 2% of men cheat.
I
don't want us to start a gender war because I know a lot of women that cheat.
Yes.
And I
See,
know a lot of men that cheat.
I'm an emotional.
I know more.
A lot of men that cheat.
See, I know a lot of.
They feel like it's in their right
Yes,
to cheat.
that is
In
the
this
problem.
part of the
That is
world,
the issue.
I think-
that's the issue with men. They are
In this part of the
entitled to
world,
it. But
let's
women
be
will
very-
cheat and clean their mouth, and
You would never know.
I have
You
spoken
would
to
never know.
I have a lot of private sessions with women, and the things I've heard, like women cheat, but they
would never know.
they feel sorry about it. They are remorse.
Oh,
But men will
please.
cheat,
And a
and
woman
she was
will
always
cheat
looking nice in the
for more
house.
intricate
She was
reasons, unlike the man.
exactly.
The man will
Yes,
cheat
so-
for very shallow reasons.
Exactly.
But the woman will cheat for something that is very, very deep.
Exactly.
So exactly that's.
But cheating
that's
is
the
cheating,
point.
I
It's
agree.
cheating is cheating.
But there's something he said that I just want to, that I disagree. He said that once that, she said it, and he re-echoed it. It's when you share a level of intimacy that's supposed to give to one person to another person, then that's cheating. Now, I may sound very, very pedestrian right now, but is it not possible to share intimacy with more than one person? I think, isn't that why we have
Fondness
polygamous
is the word.
Yes.
people?
Fondness.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yes,
it's
full of you and not
I
intimate.
No, but you're supposed
Because
to
if
have.
you
Come in, it becomes
You're
intimacy.
supposed to have
It's
boundaries.
when it's cheating, when like we start having the love, the kind of love that you're supposed to have for
your
just your
partner,
partner.
yeah.
There's only one type of love you're supposed to have for just your
I want to
partner.
ask you a question.
Of
How
course,
many
you can have brothers and
partners?
sisters
There are people that
you
are
love
married
in a different way.
are married to more than one woman.
Yeah, that is it. We'll come-
So
we'll
is it
get
not?
to that.
Do they
We'll
love
get to
their
that.
wives
They are
equally?
polygamous. They have
They are polygamous.
Is polygamy a bad
And their
thing?
partners
Polygamy
are
requires
It's not a bad thing, Abi.
openness.
You require
That's why all of them
Polygamous,
stay together.
let's
that
know.
way that you are
Let's
seeing
know
other
that
people.
you're polygamous.
That you're married to other people, not that you are in an acclaimed committed relationship with your partner,
Yes.
and you go hopping from one bed to another.
How will you marry the second wife if you don't?
No, that's
Develop
what,
an
that's
intimacy
why I
behind
said
it.
You need
takes
to
the
have
level
that
of
communication.
openness.
That's why we say there's something called an open relationship.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are
Being
people.
in an
No.
open
I don't think that. I don't think that
Yeah,
people that are in
yeah.
polygamous marriages
Yeah,
are called open marriages. No.
Sorry.
I did not say open.
He said open
There are
relationship.
peop-
Hold on.
Polygamy is when
Okay,
it's
so-
one-sided. When the whole open relationship, both partners are free to do what they want.
Well, we don't have that sort of thing in Nigeria, do we?
No,
No,
but then, sorry,
I don't practice that kind of
I
thing.
want to pick something from
know.
what Faith said.
We have polyamorous people in this part of the world. Funny enough, we
Exactly.
do. Yeah.
They're probably really low
So I want to pick up something from where Faith said. Faith said is when cheating occurs when you begin to share
Intimacy.
Not
No,
intimacy,
no,
I
that's
said
it.
love.
Love, the kind of
you're supposed to
love.
have for
So
just
now,
your partner.
really, I can because I can speak on behalf of men somehow, not totally, but me, I can speak on behalf of men that a man could be in a relationship and then still sleep with another lady without feeling any out of feeling for her
Emotions,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
No,
And
I-
then goes on. So with that, if you find your man in that position, you know that he doesn't feel anything towards that lady, whatever. Will
How
you
would you
categorize
know?
that as cheating?
How would you know?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
it's
course.
cheating.
That's why I said that.
Okay.
Because
But
both
he
physical
doesn't love
cheating
her.
and-
I know
It
some
doesn't
women. I know
matter.
some
You need
women.
to
I know
love
some
someone
women.
before you
I know some women on the personal note. I know some women who
It doesn't
whose
exonerate the
husbands are
fact
like
that
that.
it's cheating.
No, but you just ask yourself a question. You said, do you need to love someone before you
No, you
No,
don't
Brian,
need to love
Brian, I know some
someone
women who are
before
like
you
that.
sleep with them.
Huh?
But sleeping
They know
with
their
someone that
husband
you
loves
don't
them.
love doesn't mean that you're not cheating. You
Yeah.
are cheating.
Really? Okay, so
Explain how it's cheating. Since
Yes,
people have clearly defined cheating as sharing intimacy.
Brian,
Sharing.
you're committed
there is
to
sexual
another
intimacy,
person.
there is emotional intimacy.
What if your intimacy is just
You have
emotional?
reached your commitment.
hold up. Okay,
It is still
can we
cheating.
just go on break, and when we come back, and then we continue this conversation?
No, we,
Well, this is still the talk shop, and we are talking. So before we went on that break, there was some sort of explanation that was to be made, but I think we are going to skip the explanation and then move on to another important question. Okay, we discussed the offset, and it's already bringing some sort of heat argument. Let me just start from Amara by my left here. At what point is cheating permissible in a relationship?
Cheating is never permissible. If you are seeing red flags or red lights, or if you think the relationship isn't working again for you, then I think you should walk.
Sure.
Leave the person. Move on with your life. You don't cheat on people because the effect that cheating has on the other person, most times is psychological. They feel like, I'm not enough. Maybe that's the reason why he or she cheated. So instead of having someone feel that way, just leave them.
So are we agreeing that under no condition is cheating permissible?
I agree. I'm sure he doesn't.
why are you speaking for me?
I agree with your face. I agree.
No, do you agree?
Let me just put it in this way. If I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm unhappy, and you know, sometimes you cannot know what you're missing until you see it out there, and then when you meet someone else, you just met the person, you have not started any form of relationship with this person, and this person excites you, and then and when you go back home, you're not happy with your
Initial
current partner.
excitement.
You just realize that, oh, this is what I've been missing, right? That process of bonding with that new person, that's what my
Initial
sisters
excitement,
are
that's
calling
what it is.
cheating, right?
No.
Now, because they say once you start feeling some level of intimacy with somebody,
You're mixing it up.
You're mixing it.
You see, that is just a starting point. It leads to something else. You understand?
The choice is whether
It leads-
the case is whether you entertain it, you harbor it, you
Yeah.
know it.
It's just like
You feed
temptation.
it.
Now the reason
You
I'm
feed it.
the reason I'm harboring it is because I'm not happy with my current relationship. Like, it's boring and there's nothing exciting. You can call it initial excitement, but when I get to the relationship, I will find out that it's the same thing, right?
Do you know the thing that there will always be somebody hotter, there will always be somebody finer, there will always be somebody richer,
No, but that's
there
not
will
the
always
point.
be somebody more. So the
It
case is,
is.
have you, when you're in a relationship, have you decided to be with this person? If it starts feeling boring or you're not satisfied, have you communicated to your partner? Does your partner even know about it? Have you guys tried?
I
to
should apologize
maybe
for
work
using the
things-
phrase boring and all that. There are some situations you find yourself in a relationship and be like, this one will go. Maybe it's not just there are some things you cannot talk out of. If you're in a relationship with someone that is abusive, it doesn't have to be physically abusive, maybe verbally abusive.
Yeah.
There are some
Then you
things
shouldn't be
you be
there.
like, hey, you cannot live with this.
Yeah, then
right?
you shouldn't be there.
And so as I'm
No, but it's not always
living
easy to
with this
just
person,
leave,
I'm
like
going
you
to
said.
another
There's
person,
also
right?
couples
Always
consent.
have
Not always easy to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not easy to live. So have you even tried to work it out? That's the first question I
But
ask.
don't want to
no,
work
but
it
I
out.
think that I think that Brian is trying to say that being with your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife shouldn't stop you from meeting the love of your life.
Can I hug you on set? Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Your boyfriend should not stop you from finding.
Well,
true love.
that's a divergent view, and I think you are a minority of people who share that view.
No, but
I
it's
think
true.
share that.
It's true.
Now,
It's true.
to just talk about something she said.
I'm
earlier.
sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. I shouldn't be asking, but I want to ask you.
Okay.
Is your wife the first person you dated?
Of course not.
Yeah, you left your girlfriend to go and find
I
her.
didn't leave anybody
Oh,
to
but at
find
some
her.
point
I was not dating when I found her.
Okay, but you had left someone and eventually found your wife.
Of course, I was willing to date.
So
when
your
I met
girlfriend
her.
does not stop you from eventually finding true
No,
love.
no,
No, I wasn't in a relationship when I found her.
Why
I wasn't.
See,
She was not in either. She was not in anyone. If she was in a relationship before she met me, everyone knows she would have said no to me.
okay.
No matter how much she had liked me at that point.
No, but
she would
I
have
think
said
there
no.
are situations where someone is in a relationship, you're also in a relationship, and
happens,
both of you end
of
up
course,
together.
of
It doesn't
course.
mean, does it mean, no, it's not rare.
You see
It's
a
not
girl,
rare.
it is very hard to see a girl who's in a relationship. You walk up to her and tell her you want to date her and all that, and you are serious. She knows you're serious. She likes you. In very rare cases, does she give you a chance until
In this
that
Nigeria.
one that she's. I'm telling you.
In this Nigeria.
I'm telling you, it is
Okay,
very
but
rare.
that's
No,
what I
no,
disagree with.
when I
See,
say I
I'm
need
glad I'm
a
disagree.
real one,
I
a real one, not a shallow,
Brian,
shallow
that's-
boyfriend kind of relationship.
People is that fan over here, but people one fight or one
I'm
dispute,
leaving.
they say,
I don't
"I'm
want
tired, I'm
again.
leaving,"
I'm
and
going.
you keep jumping from one person to the other because. I mean, how
It's
do you
the-
expect to enter a
it's the
relationship
search for true love now. You
it
have to keep
be
making
perfect?
mistakes.
Nobody is perfect.
There is
You
no
don't know this
perfect
person from
relationship out there.
You
And
search
the
till you
process of
die.
learning
That's-
the
That there's no
person.
perfect relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you may be willing to work something out. What if your partner is not willing to work something out?
They're not
Exactly.
for you,
Say,
man.
people say
It's true.
communicate. I
Yeah.
think the main problem is comprehension.
Yeah.
You communicate. Do they understand what?
It's a two-way street. I
There
always
is a
say
man for
it's
every
a
woman.
two-way
There's a
street.
woman for every man.
Yeah.
Just look for your kind.
Exactly.
Now,
Look for your
so
own
but just the
headache
point you said,
and
just a
enjoy.
second, like 5 seconds. Now, when a man cheats, it's not always because their partner is inadequate. You find a lot of women who are good looking, who are respectful, who are like a man's dream woman, kind of any man's dream kind of woman. I'm not saying they may be perfect per se and all of that, but then the man will still go ahead to cheat. So it could stem, like I said earlier, a sense of dissatisfaction. You understand? So it's not always when the woman now finds out and the woman will now say, "Oh, you made me feel like I was inadequate for you," and all of that. But of course, you will feel that way.
But I still think that dissatisfaction comes from a personal fantasy that the men have. Some men have very crazy desires in the bedroom that their wives cannot match up to.
Talk about it with her. You can explore.
Some
Place
women
for
don't want to
exploration.
explore.
Yes.
Not just no. See.
You
No,
also
please say that
marry-
out. So
When
can
we say
hear it.
compatibility in relationships, it goes a long
No,
way.
I thought
It goes a
we
long
had
way.
that.
Now,
hear it.
Victor, let me just make one other little point. A few days ago, we were talking about this issue and my wife. That there's a point you get to when you're dating somebody or you're married to them. It doesn't always mean marriage. I mean your partner generally. There's a point you guys get to. We're talking about a friend whose wife had to go do a program abroad, and it's been a while. And I was like asking, how do these guys cope? I know it's going to be hard for them because they're very close. And I said, what about people who stay abroad and their wives or husbands are here? How do they cope? Like, it's not always about sex in dating or in marriage, but the part that your partner is close to you. There are days when you just want to talk to that person in person, like face to face, feel their body, feel them. It's not always about sex per se. So you find out that people who are dating or are married could be with each other for even 3 months or 1 month or 2 weeks and nothing happens, but they share a bond that seeing face to face and all of that brings up.
Yeah.
So you have to marry somebody who you are compatible with on a lot of angles and not just in one part.
Yeah.
You can't overlook any of
Okay,
this.
so
Yeah.
the lesson consensus was that cheating is not permissible at any point except for
No, but when it does happen, I think there's a place for forgiveness.
there's a place of forgiveness.
Both sides.
Yes, there's a
especially,
place for forgiveness.
especially for the
If-
Nigerian man,
if-
because
if you
Nigerian
are
men,
saying-
when their wives err, they feel like they want to take it on top of their head and broadcast it. Hey, my wife, this I will never. But
So,
if it was them, they forgive them
but
easily.
in this case right now, if we're saying cheating is not permissible, but as a matter of fact, they have listed or they have published several benefits of cheating.
Are there? Any?
Yes.
Sorry,
There
what
are-
are the benefits of
Okay,
cheating?
yes, I am going to say. Well, in fact, there was one that was there's a this is survey that occurred last year, if I must say, and one of the things was like in women, it does as the fact that the survey once proved that women who are cheated on ultimately grew from the experience and learn to choose better mates in the future.
So
Can
you're
we
saying it's okay.
can we deny
In
that?
relationships, Abby.
Yes.
Let me
Uh-huh.
explain what you
Yeah.
just said. You know how Christians say, when you go through hardships,
It makes you a
it
better
makes you
person,
stronger.
stronger.
Some people now interpret it as God inflicting you with those hardships
No,
to
yes,
make you better. God will not inflict you with that thing. It has happened because this is a fallen world, but then you learn from that thing. So it doesn't mean your partner will now inflict you with cheating because
Just
you're
say-
trying to
So
make
you
you a
learn.
better person. It happens, but then we learn from our bad
Then
experiences.
that's not just one. There are other several one, and others here say it can help you identify areas that need attention. There are one that says it can help you draw a line in the sand for whatever that means.
all
Yeah,
these
that's
things-
second
all
one.
these
Sexually
things
and
can be
emotional needs.
avoided if you communicate.
And if they
Communication
comprehend.
is the foundation. If you do not communicate, how will you know your partner wants
Well,
to be doing
there
this?
is a-
Or
They
your
will not
partner has
communicate.
this one.
There is
And
one
then
other
you
item.
communicate.
Sorry, there is one other item on it that is very important that I think it's also good. They say cheating can lead you to becoming a better lover.
I disagree.
Well,
I
well, well,
disagree.
please.
I
was
disagree,
saying
and I will
it's
tell you why I
very little
disagree.
to fit.
Okay, let us.
Okay, I feel maybe like how you say hardships make you better or whatever. Maybe you now want to keep your husband or your wife, and so you become more
Put in more effort.
adventurous, put in more effort. And
that's-
all of
that's the
that.
point.
You,
That's it.
Maybe you dress more sexy like your husband wants,
Mm-hmm.
and you are more, I don't know, open.
Give the person
Well,
more
guess
attention.
what?
Yes,
All of that.
but one thing that I don't agree with, like you said earlier, is when you were saying when you were talking about the side chick thing, like she said, communication. If you don't tell your wife, okay, there are people that's what that woman was shouting on the side chick for is like will I say a taboo? Why would you want?
Why would you go and meet the side chick?
Then why would you not tell your wife before you get married or whatever that okay,
You want
I would like to explore and do this and do this and do this. So
People
are you
when they are
down?
dating, they don't talk. All they do
Yes.
is go and look at each other.
I've heard of
They
cases.
don't-
I've heard of
they don't ask hard
Actually,
I've heard a
have
lot
you
of
eaten
cases.
yesterday?
I've heard
They
a
don't ask hard questions.
What will
If
you
I'm
eat?
sick tomorrow, what will happen? If I lose my job next tomorrow, what will happen? If I can't do this in bed, can you cope with? As they don't ask hard
I think
questions.
I need
Yes.
to say
I've
something.
had a lot of cases where a lot of people don't communicate with they don't tell their partner, okay, this is what I expect in a marriage. I like fresh food every day, or I like this.
So that
I
if
would
you
like
can
to
take
try
it, you
this
stay.
in
If
the
you cannot take
bedroom.
it, you
Yes,
walk
they don't.
Because they're
Then when
women
you now
love
enter,
fresh food every day.
the man springs it on you, or your wife springs it on you and tells you, I want this, I want that. But this is, now you're in a marriage. People find it hard to give up. You understand?
Yeah.
This is when she was shouting at that side chick now. And in my mind, I'm like, did this man... Yeah, no,
She
that's not
doesn't
what I
have
was
respect
thinking
for
of.
herself for her to have done that.
Did this man even talk to his wife before he married her? This is something he would want to try.
Most likely not.
And if you find out this person is not, this person you're about to marry is not someone that will be willing to try this, then why don't you go look for someone like we said
Let me
earlier,
answer that.
compatibility
Can I answer
in a
that
lot
question?
of ways.
Can I
You
answer that
said
question?
something. If cheating makes you better, you start wearing sexy stuff for your partner. But do you know
To
that
keep them.
there's a possibility that woman would have given her husband what he wanted, and he would still go outside.
Let me answer your question.
That's why I said that
You
cheating is a
discipline.
choice.
See,
You
Exactly.
cheat
It
because
is
you want
actually.
to cheat.
To be
No,
very
no,
honest,
that's
to be
why
very,
I
to be
said
very
that.
honest,
If
to be
you
very
guys-
honest, as adults, whatever we do in life, we have to understand and bear the brunt that
Exactly.
is our responsibility.
Be responsible
It's the
for
choice.
I agree.
Yes.
But
Even
I want
children,
to
even
bring the
children know
point
what is
online.
wrong and what is right.
Is
You
it
understand?
possible that you're my wife and every feeling I have is domiciled in you? Is it possible that there are some feelings that may not be domiciled in you? There are some desires.
You are
that I
human
have?
now. You are not
You cannot
immortal.
have
You are mortal.
100% of something.
That's what I'm
In
saying.
life, you cannot
See,
have 100% of
Exactly. Let me
anything.
give you an example.
You pick who is closest to your so-called spec or who you feel. Do you understand?
If you like big boss,
sometimes-
by all
Lots of
means,
your
by all means,
bosses.
you look for a woman who has big boss to
But you
marry.
know the funny thing.
You understand?
Yes.
Dan, I
What
agree.
If you
prevent
like big
situations
bumps,
like this?
look for a woman that has big hips and marry.
Daniel,
He will
what
still
if
marry a woman with big hips and sleep
And
with the
chase-
one that is
That
Bigger
doesn't
hips.
like
I don't
So-
think I don't think I would marry a woman because of her physical appearance.
It's part of it. The man. See, Brian, don't
Because
mistake
that's not where-
it.
see-
The man is moved by what he sees. The man as a being
true,
is moved by what he sees.
true, yes.
You meet a girl and you like people who are very intelligent and bright. You need to see a beautiful girl first for you to even listen to
When
what
you
she has to
see
say.
her,
Yes.
Exactly.
You must first see her first. You say, hello, my name is Brian. She now tells you her name. So you say, I like the way you sound. From there, you start to converse and then you hear
Can
what
I
is in her
finish?
head.
Can I finish this
Yeah.
scenario? Yes, I like the way you sound. I like the way you look and
Okay.
everything. And but that's not even a given. I've met people that I like the way they look and everything, and yet we didn't go far because there are some
You seem
when
to have
you
a lot
go
of
deeper into
experiences,
a
man.
person, you realize that these things, these superficial things, the way you look, the way you sound, are not going to guarantee a lifetime of faithfulness.
For
to that person.
starters.
Okay, if we say this for
This is
starters,
where
if
self-control
we keep
comes
if we
in.
keep looking, I think it's pretty much surface that you look at the person and say, hey,
Of course, attraction is the first thing. You have to be physically attracted to this person. Yes, that's sorted out. Okay, but
Nobody sees your.
how does this person behave to other people?
And then you realize that, okay, me and this person is not compatible because maybe I'm a kind person and she's not. Maybe I talk very softly and she's rude. And then, yes, she's physically attractive, but that's me. So you meet another person, physical attraction to, something is missing. Until you find someone who is not as beautiful as the other, as the previous two,
you find
and
someone
then
who is
yet
close to
in
what
her,
you want, because
wait
there's no
now.
perfect partner out there.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
but yes, you find someone, but she's not as gorgeous, as beautiful as the previous two. But inside her, you can see a level of humanity that you want to be with for a long time, right?
So
and
you
so you
have your
and so you have settled
Yes.
with this person because you can have a lifetime with this person because she's a manager. She can take care of you. She can take care of your children when you have them in the future. But suddenly you started missing that big boobs and the big ass.
That's the
You
thing.
don't-
Okay,
you don't
that's
know
the
that-
thing.
Sorry, can I
you
use
need to
an-
have can you
another-
can everything
then you don't know
desire
what you
will
want.
decide the one
That's
you
the
know.
thing. So you decide
Hold on.
you decide what is the most important.
Yes.
what is
Definitely,
most important to
definitely.
you.
The fact
And
that
that
she's
is
a
weird.
the fact that she's a
have to
homemaker
move
is
from
more
there.
important to me.
Exactly.
Right?
So
Which
you,
is why
you make do with the rest. That's where discipline comes in. You have made a choice. Love is a choice. See,
Precious, we have to move away from this topic. But you wanted to say something about analogy.
Okay, I was going to say, like, when you look at, when you see a job vacancy and then it lists
The qualifications and
qualifications and
requirements,
what they want, it's very rare in most cases for them to see someone with 100%. But they pick who is closest to, and you don't see the job people now. They say, I've seen somebody with masters in so and so. This person that has 80%, that meets 80% of my requirements, doesn't have masters in this. Let me leave this. Let me fire this person and hire the person with 20% left. It doesn't happen.
Okay,
So why can't it apply to your life?
Oh, so which means look for a partner even if it doesn't tick all your boxes but tick most of your boxes.
Yes.
So if you're going to move away from there, the question that we were here to answer most importantly was why people cheat. And so we're going to start from so you want to give us like 5 reasons why you think women as your profession, and then you have listened to a lot of women speak. From your profession, you just give us like 5 reasons why you think women. So you speak for women and let the men speak for the men. So as a woman, what do you think? 5 reasons why you think women cheat?
women cheat. Lack of attention. Lack of vulnerability in the relationship.
Vulnerability?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Women. Okay, so based on the amount of people I've spoken with, they would say in their relationship, the men don't open up to them. Like they don't open up when they're having issues. They don't open up when maybe they're at low points. And I understand from men because there's this thing in the society, toxic masculinity.
Should we cry?
How men are supposed to always be men.
Should we cry?
No,
it
it
bad
doesn't
thing?
always mean crying.
You just
It
mentioned
doesn't
two.
always mean
So
crying.
let's not
Let's
forget
go
that.
on. Let's go on. Lack of vulnerability, lack of attention, lack of communication.
What's the difference between attention and communication?
But then she was listening to let her finish
Let me
listening.
finish listening. Let me finish listening. What else? Not being present in the home, like emotionally present. Some men just feel like once they have money, they don't need to be involved in their children's life. They don't need to be involved in the affairs of the home. They just throw money at you and just go about their business. They come back from work. Oh, they've thrown money. They've gone to bed. They are not present. So that's what else? I can only think of four off the top of my head.
Even
That's
physical
fine.
presence. Even physical presence.
Yes, physical presence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, why do men cheat?
Yes.
Number one, dissatisfaction. I think number one should be indiscipline. Indiscipline. The men cheat because some of them just can't help themselves.
Okay.
I think some of them are just randy. They love to be
Just-
with different women. Yeah.
Just list
The second one is dissatisfaction. The third one is adventure.
Okay.
The fourth one is some of them want to satisfy a need that they are not getting. I think it's close to dissatisfaction, but some of these needs are very peculiar. Some of them want to do S&M, and no wife is going to say, "Hey, come and with me."
That's adventure.
True. Then number 5, men cheat because it is inbred. It is inbuilt.
I
It
disagree.
came with the system.
So your default setting as a man is to cheat.
No. Men,
Just to be clear.
I'm sure I'm
polygamous
not going
nature.
to be the first person that you
It's
hear
to
say
be
men are polygamous
in
by
nature. By
nature.
nature.
Nature, all male species of all
So
Even
animals in the world,
animals. Even animals.
Condition.
everything are polygamous.
Sorry, let's. Reasons why you think women cheat.
We are all polygamous in nature.
Exactly.
Honestly, we are all polygamous in nature. I can
Have you
decide
seen girls that have boyfriends for money, boyfriend for hair, boyfriend for
For
shopping,
recharge
boyfriend
card.
for recharge?
True.
So everybody is if we are going that way, everybody can be polygamous in nature.
No, everybody is
polygamous in
polygamous.
nature. Dissatisfaction, lack of attention, and to sum it all, because they want to. It is a choice. I will always say it.
For women.
Yes, for everybody, cheating is a choice.
Mr. Dan.
Yeah, like Brian rightly said, I think first of all is indiscipline, because it's a choice. And 2, dissatisfaction, maybe something they feel they are missing out. And 3, sometimes men feel they did not really sow their wild oats before they got married. That's why it's very important for a man to explore, marry when you're ready to marry. And some men cheat because they feel their wives don't respect them enough. So they want to get their ego back from where they feel they can get it from these other women and all that. And then lastly, I think some cheat too for financial gains, which is absurd.
When you talk about ego, it always reminded me that it also reminded me that the list I was trying to read out about the benefits, it also has to do with that.
Yeah,
cheating
massages
also
their
boosts
ego and all that.
Yes. Fifth, reasons why you think women cheat.
I think proximity, when they just like you have a co-worker or someone that works with you, and then you spend time. That's one. 2, to pay back. A lot of women cheat to pay back their
revenge.
cheating partners. 3,
Revenge sex.
yes. 3, dissatisfaction, like we all say, like we've all said, when they are not happy with their husbands or their partners. And then 4, I think just because they can, like she said, because they want to. I don't know. And 5, I think boredom. Something. Yes, it could be. It could be.
No. You just want somebody to be there
Alright,
for them.
so
and all that, yeah.
okay, we are running up, and this very last one, please, is just very quick. In 2 seconds, you just have to say or think about it in 2 seconds, and then give your answer. No beating around the bush. Who cheats the more, men or women? Faith.
In relationships, I think it could be equal, but in
No,
marriage,
like
it's
I
men.
said, you had 2 seconds, so you're supposed to just hit on
Oh,
it.
just
don't,
one.
Yes, don't
Men.
explain. Men, is that men or women? Who cheats the most?
I think because of the fact that we're in Nigeria and men take pride in cheating than women, men.
Men.
Yeah.
Amara.
Women.
Women. Brian.
Men.
Men. Women. I'm also on the part that women cheat the most.
I-
on this
I am not because it's not
I said,
official.
I am.
It's not official.
Yes,
it's not official. Officially because
Women cheat
will
on
never
their
know.
vote.
Look,
What you don't know,
what
you don't know
based on my
will
job.
never kill you.
Well, based on
Yeah.
my job.
Women cheat on
So,
provoked.
okay. And
But women mostly will vent to you. Men will not vent to you.
Yeah.
So how would you know?
Yeah,
okay,
the thing.
so I think on that note, it was 3 aside, 3 for men and 3 for women, and then we are going to come to a close on that. So Brian, thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Precious, for bringing in your professional insights to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Fun.
when we ask questions, who cheat the most between men and women, please they should take your answer more seriously because you're a professional in that field. And we were talking about why men cheat. Take Mr. Daniel's answers, reasons why men cheat seriously, because he's a married man. So he's speaking from that experience. Don't mind Brian. He's actually single to and stupor.
But so because I'm
You are single
single,
to stupor.
I don't have experience in. Nobody the fact that Daniel is married, it means that he has been taken away from that space where he has left the jungle. He is still in the jungle.
All right. So on that
So we
note,
know what's in the happen, Pastor.
on that note, Talk Shop comes to an end for this episode, but Talk Shop is going to come back again to your screen next week. Thank you for my beautiful guests.
Thanks for having us.
And that's a wrap. My name remains Victor Terhemba. See you next week.
Bye.